Fundamentals are fun. Here are 10 drills for beginners I think everybody should know with the left hand. I'm going to do a two-part video series here. I'll do the left hand in this video, I'll do the right hand in the other video. The reason I'm starting with the left hand is because most people are right-handed, and I think you should practice your weaker hand first to give you a false sense of dismay. It's much easier to go from doing the harder one first to the one that is easier, and for most people their dominant hand is easier for them to do. If you find yourself or think of yourself as ambidextrous, my recommendation is you start with the hand that you do not primarily write with when you write. Or if you barely write and you only sign your signature, I would say probably the hand that doesn't sign your signature. Overhand comes over the top. Whether it's on the front plane or the side plane, this is still over the top to generate it. Underhand comes from the bottom. So you could think of it sort of like bowling for underhand, or tossing a softball underhand versus throwing a baseball or a spiral football overhand. We'll do 5 in overhand. The first 3 with the left hand are on the front and back plane, and they are figure 8 drills. So this is the chest high version where you're doing a figure 8 from the front plane to the back plane. And if you looked at it this way, the poi going overhand is going to look like it's going clockwise. And what you do is at the 6 o'clock, at the bottom of the turn, you flip your hand behind. So this is where you're moving your arm in a figure 8 from the front plane to the back plane. And then when it gets behind you, you flip your hand out to the side to get it to come up and over to the front as you move your arm from the back plane to the front plane. So this is the chest high transition. Then the waist high transition. Now, many people I have seen over the years, when they start the waist high transition, they do it like this, where their palm is facing anterior rather than posterior. And while technically that is still doing the move, long term, you will want to learn this skill of being able to do it with the palm pointing back. So I recommend first for the waist high one, you start with pendulums. And then from the pendulum, when you're going overhand, you push down and out away from your butt crack. And then I recommend you get to being able to do 20 of these back here. Note my elbow is further from the midline of my body than my hand is, and that my palm is facing back, my elbow is bent, and I'm engaging the 4 major joints to make this happen in my fingertips, in my wrists, in my elbows, and in my shoulder. So there is a bouncing up and down that's happening with my shoulders and my shoulders and my elbow especially, and then there's a flicking to the side that's happening to give it the sideways direction. That's how you steer, and then provide the momentum to fight gravity with the fingertips and the wrist. So from there, once you can do 20 of those without hitting yourself, start to do the figure 8, or try and do the figure 8, which will come eventually. Just keep doing it. It's really, I think for most people, overhand with their less dominant hand behind the waist is one of the hardest things to start of these first 20 drills. Then the next one, so there's chest, then there's also head like this, and this is discrete and different from this. This one goes over the midline of your body. This one is out to the side. So this is more like a shoulder reel, even though it isn't even actually over my shoulder, and this one's over the crown of my head. Also note, when I'm doing this one out here, this ball is right in line with my face, whereas when I do it here, you'll notice the ball is not in line with my face. So you're much more likely to get thwacked in the face if you have your hand out here. So keep it over the top of your head, and you're less likely to get thwacked with the ball, as long as you're maintaining the momentum. I mean, I'm not saying you're not going to get thwacked. I'm sure if you play long enough, you will, but it can help. That's the first 3 on the front to back. Chest, waist, palm back, head over the crown. The 4th one is working with the floor and ceiling plane. And if you were to make a circle in front of you and draw the circle clockwise, and for people too young to know what clockwise is, because I actually had students who didn't know, it's at the top, the furthest point from you, it is going to the right. And what you do with this one is similarly a figure 8 going from the floor up to the ceiling. So I liken this to as if you're wrangling cattle and then this one down here like you're stirring a pot. And you go from wrangling the cattle to stir the pot. Cowboy to pot stirring, cowboy to pot stirring. And then you're doing these figure eights, and you can go slow like this or faster like this. And notice when you go slower, you have a smaller diameter to your circle. And when you go faster, you have a bigger diameter. So you may need to lean forward more, but try not to hunch over as you're doing it. And then practice turning with it. So the poi is going clockwise, you're turning your body to the right also. And then keep the poi doing the same thing and turn your body against it. And then the fifth drill in overhand uses the side planes. So when my left poi is on the left side, I call that the home side. When it crosses to the other side, I call that away. What you're doing with this drill, so if you look from the front, which is not how I would perform it, by the way, when you're performing, try and keep it so that the audience is seeing your circles. Unless you're advanced enough to be doing 2 different planes at once, in general, this is a really good rule of thumb for performance. I mean, if you don't care about performing, that's a different matter. But if you ever think that you might perform, I recommend you start from the beginning, thinking in terms of, especially if you're performing for the camera, thinking in terms of the plane versus the line. And in general, you want people to see the circle, not the line. In general, there are exceptions for sure. Home, away. And what we're going to do here is a figure eight across the front plane. I'm going to show you from the side. It's at the top of the turn on the left side, and then as it's coming down, I bring the arm past the hip on the right side, the away side, and then I go back home and throw it like a baseball overhand. So once you have in the beginning, it can look, sort of like this, pretty wide. Once you have that basic thing down, the next step is to come into your triangle of power with your hands, with your poi, like as you're holding it. So if you put your 2 thumbs together like this, and then you make a triangle by closing your fingers, and you take this triangle with the thumbs and put it against your body where your arm is forming a 90-degree angle, so in an ergonomically neutral position, and you put your hand here, the tip of that triangle, this is where your hands, in my experience, this is what I call your triangle of power. This is the place where you have the most control over your poi, because it's the least amount of reaching and it's the most ergonomically neutral, so you can actually maintain it for the longest. From this place, so if your figure eight's like this, you want to learn to get it down, in and down, in and down, in and down, nice and relaxed, and have your hand here in the front, and see, do better than me. Yes, do better than me. Which I don't think is correct English, but I like how it sounds. So once you have the general figure eight, and it's not too wild, and you feel like you have control, and in general, I would recommend keeping your hands below your nipple line so that you have control, and this is especially true when we get to underhand. And once you've done side to side, the next thing is you change the pattern to 1 home and then 2 away. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. And make sure you're crossing past the hip. Then what you're going to do is add the other arm in without the poi. You go over, then under, then home. So it's your 1, your 2, then back home. 1, 2, 1. Over, under, home. Over, under, home. And then you want to be able to do 3 sets of those with your eyes closed of 50 and take a quick break between the 3 sets and not hit yourself at all before you even try and put the weave together. In my experience, people just have enough muscle memory when they can do that. And if you get to, the 3rd set, the 40th one, and you hit yourself, start again the count at the beginning, 0. And keep going until you can do that. It makes, if you're struggling with getting the 3-beat weave, that will help. This completes video 1 of what will be actually a 4-part series, not a 2-part series. Video 1 covered overhand with the left hand. Video 2 now covers underhand with the left hand, so please check that out.